Good morning. Today is the last day of the challenge. I hope you've had a great week and you're excited to do the final task, task 5. Okay, before I'm gonna describe the final task that you've got today, I'm just gonna do a really quick recap on the amazing work that you've done so far. So day 1, you pulled out your 20 values, and then on day 2, you did the really hard task of shortlisting it down through scoring it. Then you had a smaller list. Then, off the back of that, through connecting to your intuition and really going deep inside your subconscious and getting to know yourself on a much, much more deeper level, you then pulled out your 5 core values, your 5 values that you stand for, that are going to be the bedrock of your decision making going forward. And that was probably the hardest day, which was the Tuesday, but you did it. Well done. Then on the Wednesday, you were going to start looking externally. So Monday, Tuesday was all about going in. Wednesday was going external, where you then started to cross-reference your 5 core values on where they line up. Do they line up with your cornerstones of your life? And hopefully at that point you had some questions and some really big insights on where you might need to start making some new changes. Then yesterday's challenge, I asked you to pick some goals, just one goal per area, so you had 4 in total, and write down the goal, write down an action, and write down the date that you were going to take that action. Now today it gets exciting. Today you get to be super, super creative. You're going to create a mind movie. Now, if you've never heard of a mind movie before, it's a little bit like a guided meditation where you get to have some fun with your imagination. You get to have a play around with acting as though this goal has happened. Now, this depends on how confident you are in playing around with this. You can pick one goal and use that as the main content for your mind movie. If you're brave enough, you can have all 4, but it could get a little bit messy. So it may be easier just to stick with the one. So pick your one goal, and then what you're going to do is pretend that you are a movie director. And you're going to pull out today's task sheet, which looks like this. And just to start off from like almost writing a bit of a script. And to prompt you, I've wrote down some questions, and it's all about activating your senses. What can you hear? What can you see? What can you smell? What can you touch? Is there something that you could taste? Who's there with you? And it's about really adding in the detail of this movie, of what your scenario is going to be like once this goal is in the current situation, acting as if when it's manifested, when it's in fruition, what will that look like? And then what you're going to do after you've wrote it all down is you're going to close your eyes and imagine running through it within your imagination. Now, if you have some resistance towards this, and you might be the person that might say something like, "Oh, my imagination isn't very good. That's not really something that I'd ever do." If I was to say to you, imagine going on holiday to somewhere you've never been before, could you imagine it? My guess is that you could. Now, there may be some part of that imagination where you're pulling from memory or from things that you've seen on TV, but I'm guessing that you're going to make up a lot of that story. How many times have you imagined something happening? It may even be a bad imagination, worrying about something. That's the power of your brain. Well, now you're going to use it to your advantage and have a positive imagination of a mind movie and have some fun with it. This is where it gets this is where it gets creative. This is where it gets fun. This is where you get to kind of really experience all of the hard work that you've done on every day, and now put it into some colour, put it into some moving imagination, and start to experience the feelings. So when this goal has happened, what are you going to feel? What are the benefits from it? What will your face look like? Will you have something different on, like different clothes, different perfume, different cologne? If you're a guy, well, you've had different haircut. So it's all about stepping into this now as though it's happened, and stepping into your power. So download the task sheet, have a go at filling it in, and as always, please comment on this post, hashtag day 4, hashtag clarity. And if you're brave enough, I'd love to see the story of your movie. But if it's personal and you don't want to share it, just tell me the experience that you've had throughout doing this movie. Thank you, and I'll see you this evening.